cloak of darkness.
I was born a slave in Maryland, and I know the weight of every chain. So when I escaped in 1849, I went back. 19 times I went back. By night, by quiet foot, lantern in hand, I led my people north, past marshes, past rivers, past the dogs they set on us. The North Star was my compass, the moon my witness. Whatever darkness the Master laid down, we walked under it, and the Lord kept us safe. When the war came, I told General Montgomery I could be of use. So I put on the blue of the Union, and I led a rowboat expedition down the Combahee River in the dead of night. We set free over 700 souls from Confederate plantations, and we did it under their noses. I became the first woman in American history to lead an armed military raid, and not one soldier was lost. But before the war, every step was a trap. They knew my face.
Follow that star to the promised land.
So I learned to make myself look like someone they would not stop to look at. I would hunch my back, lean on a cane, wrap my shawl tight around my head, and shuffle like an old woman past the slave catchers on the road. The hounds would sniff past me and never howl. I walked right through Maryland with my own family in slave-catching territory, and they never once guessed. Every song the enslaved sang was not just a song. Swing low, sweet chariot. That was a signal that a conductor was coming. Steal away to Jesus. That meant a rescue flight had been planned. Dress yourself, hide yourself, but go on. The gospel train. That was the Underground Railroad itself, bound for glory. To the Master, it was only worship. To us, it was a wire of intelligence running through every plantation from Maryland to Mississippi. The bloodhound was a cruel and patient enemy. It could follow a scent for miles, over water, across fields. But the dog has but so many senses, and the strongest smelling thing on the trail wins. So I kept crushed onions in my pocket and pepper, and when the dogs came close, I would scatter them on the path behind us. The hound would hit that stronger scent and run in circles, confused and lost. And our people would disappear into the woods while the slave catcher stood there cursing, none the wiser. On the clothesline of every Underground Railroad safe house hung a quilt, and every quilt was a message. The winding path, take the long way. The log cabin, pack up tonight. The stars, follow the North Star. To a passing stranger, it was a countrywoman airing blankets. To a conductor walking past, it was a dispatch as clear as any telegraph in Washington. And there was the lantern. A short candle in a window meant, come softly, just one tonight. A clear, warm flame meant, come, 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 the door is open, warm food is waiting, sleep until dawn. A dark window meant danger, slave catchers nearby. Keep moving, do not stop. This house cannot help you tonight. From deep forest, the freedom seeker would look through the trees and see that little light, and he would know whether to walk forward or to walk away. Some rides were quieter still. Some farmer would come to me with his hay-loaded wagon, and we would cut a false bottom into the floorboards, hidden under the grain. 3 people could lie still beneath a pile of hay for hours, with only a board to breathe through. The wagon would roll into a southern town, past slave catchers nodding in the sun. I would preach in the slave cabin on Sunday, raising my hand toward heaven, speaking of the promised land, of Moses leading his people out of bondage. And while the Master thought I was preaching the gospel, I was teaching the route north. The directions were in the singing. The safe houses were in the verses. The night to run was in the words about the river. They listened with their whole mind, and on Tuesday night, many of them were gone. And the last trick was the one I used most every day of my life. With the shawl tied and my shoulders dropped, I was a different woman to any eye. I could walk through slave territory as if I had never been born, and that is how I lived long enough to do the work.